Are you one of those people who think Zanuck hasn't had enough graphical updates yet? Well, you might be in luck because she might be getting a 5th graphical update. Introducing the Gobo Glow Up blog. Today we're looking into where they're upgrading the graphics of all goblins in RuneScape. A part of me, when they said they were gonna upgrade goblins, thought, do goblins really need an update? But after seeing the comparisons here, yes, I think they do need an update. And I think the update is looking really good. They start off by saying goblins. You love them, we love them, but nobody loves them more than Mod Woe. So today they've got a blogo for the Gobbo, and they're going to show us what they look like in the progress. Sneak peek here of the new goblins, looking nice. Look at those toes. He's got 4 nice toes with nails. Look at those muscles, those veiny hands. The details on the nose and mouth are incredible. It's fair to say that Bandos, his best boys, have certainly seen better days. Is that like a boy band? Bandos, his best boys. So over the last 3 years, Mod WoW, with help from other artists such as Mod Demo, has been making great progress behind the scenes on updating all the goblins. So we've got a whole bunch of before and afters of different goblins. This is Gobo sad, cause bad. Gobo delighted with more polygons over here. Please note all designs are work in progress. They've given him an extra toe. He only had 3 before, now he's got 4. They've given him fingers. He only had 2 chunky fingers before, now he's got 4. They've shortened the skirt, which is very progressive. You know, traditional goblins would not approve. Look at those collarbones too, geez. They've kept the distinct underbite, you can see, with teeth picking out, same as over here. Great detail in the face. Look at all the wrinkles and stuff. It's incredible how much detail they've been able to pack into it. Massive increase of the ear size too. I know this is not done yet, but I do hope that the hat it has looks a little bit less plasticky, because that has been a thing. It looks a little bit more fluffy over here, so I hope that they kind of add some grain to it, you know? Don't have the whole clay aesthetic going on. It's early days. I mean, it's not done yet. They're just showing previews, so, you know. I'm just giving feedback here. Here we have a Gobbo who has a hat, and this Gobbo is overjoyed with a better hat. They've kept the style the same too. They've got the belt around there. You got a big stitch up on top. They've given him a little plate here instead of the cloth he had on. But yeah, you could just see the proportions of like the leg muscles, the arms, the body. Yeah, everything's really good. He's a classy fella. Next one. This one's got a stick. Am I the only one who thinks it's crazy? This is the same game. This is the same game where goblins looked like this at one point, and now they look like that. You know, isn't that kind of incredible? They were changed to this, but just look, they've got the same pose and everything, and it's the same game. I don't know, my mind is a little bit blown here with how much detail they're able to put into the model now. They've also given us some GIFs of animations. Here we've got a fighting one where it slaps you, you punch it, it falls over, oh no. Smack it. It slap you. Here we've got an idle standing pose for the goblins. And here's the chat head. Looks amazing, honestly. I really like it. It raises its eyebrows when it's happy. When it's sad, it looks all sad. When it's angry, it's even angrier. Oh. Confused, quizzical. The amount of facial expressions is incredible. Honestly, amazing work to all the artists involved. Wow. They say one of the key goals of the Goblin refresh has been balancing the personality and uniqueness of the current live goblins with a more efficient and sustainable approach to model creation. They say on the older generations of RuneScape models, there was a lot less detail, and so it was easier to produce them mass scale with lots of different small varieties. However, in modern workflow, there's a lot more detail in it, which means it's harder to, you know, build individual models that are slightly different without just copy-pasting the same one. So this has been a test for them to explore a way of greater customization despite keeping the base model the same. And I guess how they've been doing this is by dressing them slightly different with different clothing items or armor. They would also like to hear some feedback about what you think of these changes, so do let them know on Reddit or on social media. As you cast your eyes over the next few comparisons, keep the following in mind. Do the goblins still feel distinctive? Has anything been lost along the way? Is there anything you'd like to see pushed further? Here's General Wart Face at the moment, and this is the new General Wart Face now with extra warts. The loincloth seems to be generally the same on all of them. Here they've given him a wooden shield and axe, of course, like he has over there. This one does have a distinctive wart on his nose, like you would expect from the name, which it didn't have before, ironically enough. They've also kept the green face paint. The old one has some green face paint, and the new one does as well. I think it looks good. Here's some chat heads animated of General Wart Face. It's a bit difficult to see if he's happy or not. He still kind of looks a little bit sad on this one. Maybe it's more in the mouth. Maybe it's just the way his eyebrows lay up. Like his mouth seemed happy. Here's General Bent Nose. I will say General Bent Nose might need more of a bent nose, but it could just be the angle too. Like maybe it does bend to the left, but we just don't see it from this angle. Saying that though, they've kept the general aesthetic correct. Like they've kept the red hair, they've kept the red paint. They've actually given this one a beard. They removed the beard from the previous one and then they gave this one a beard. Maybe the idea is that they want to have small differences in the goblins, but able to make lots of them really fast with small differences. Here's General Bent Nose. Yeah, maybe his nose needs to be a little bit bent, but I mean, that's a small thing, right? Oh, here he's all sad and stuff. Very sad, extremely sad. Oh no. Here is the current Greldo while he's thinking about cabbages, and here's Greldo thinking about the Mind Goblin. What's a Mind Goblin? Let me know in the comments below. It's for this one, they did give him a shoulder pad thing and a strap along his chest. They've kept the spear and the shield as well. So instead of having a wooden square shield, they've actually just kind of given him a door, really, which is completely fine, to be honest. He lost his boots, though, and his little armored helmet. He got like a little hat instead. I mean, yeah, there's not much to say. It looks good, in my opinion. Like, I was thinking, did anyone ask for this? Why are we updating goblins? But clearly, they've gotten a massive glow up. I am surprised how good they look now. Here's Stub Thumb. Stub Thumb's looking quite yellow. He's kind of showing a lot of that crotch area, though. I think you can tone down the skirt a little bit there. I'm not interested in you in that way, Stub Thumb. But yeah, they've kept his beard. That's good. They've kept his little beanie hat thing. Picasso, I like it. They say, as you'll be able to note, we are trying to keep the important details seen on the OG Gobbos, including Grubfoot's black eye that he obtained along our adventures. That is good. And attention to detail is, oh, I love attention to detail. You're speaking my language here. Here's Grubfoot before and after, the more grubby Grubfoot. At least I gave him underwear, if they're gonna show that part. Why would goblins need underwear, though? Do you feel like goblins would wear underwear? I'm not petitioning to remove them or anything like that. That's just weird. Why would you think that? I'm just saying the skirts are so short. You know, I had a thought. He kind of looks like a football player, but if he was a goblin, so now I can't unsee that. Too much World Cup, clearly, for me recently. Here's Grubfoot with different facial expressions in the chat head. Happy. Very happy. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to see that they're happy with the like more subtle happy ones. They kind of have a resting sad face, which I mean, their big high war god is gone. So I mean, maybe that is the point. For the next two, we've got a bit of context. Nostralia and Wagchin, according to lore, male and female goblins are indistinguishable to non-goblins. So with that in mind, they've changed their body posture to bring them more in line with other goblins. We do of course want to retain some unique elements as to not make them entirely generic. I see, okay. They've kept the colors of the clothes the same. They've de-makeupped them a bit. Maybe you could still add some makeup to them. Like, even if you use the same model, you could still add the makeup. They've kept the hair the same, of course. Yeah, I think you should add the makeup to this one. Add like the pink lips and like maybe the pink eyeshadow, or is it like, yeah, it's probably eyeshadow. Other than that, I think it looks completely fine, you know? If it is indistinguishable to non-goblins, then why not? But definitely keep the makeup. Yeah, that's the detailed. If you can make Grubfoot have a black eye, I think you should be able to have some makeup on Nostralia as well. And then for Wagchin, yeah, same feedback on this one, to be honest. Add the makeup to it. The makeup isn't, you know, physical traits that the goblin has. It's something that the goblin has chosen to put on themselves, right? So it's not changing their proportions in any way. It's just like a fashion decision, right? It's just like, what clothes are they wearing? I like that they've kept the hair the same. They've kept the clothes color the same. I guess they've removed the mid-waist that you can't see that anymore. Yeah, if nothing else, keep the makeup. Like, give this one blue lipstick and pink cheeks, you know? Just keep that going, but you can keep the rest of it, in my opinion. You need to let me know what you think as well in the comments below. They continue by saying, to keep this project manageable, we're looking at changing the following goblin's armor to be wearing normal goblin armor or adapted versions of it, rather than having outright unique designs for each of them. So for example, Goblin Raiders and Hollow Tooth won't have their entirely unique Raider set anymore, though the set that players can wear is not being changed. So here's Hollow Tooth. They've gone and I guess removed the armor generally from their torso, given them a makeshifty helmet. This is probably just a lantern frame, isn't it? That the goblins have found somewhere and then repurposed into a helmet. I kind of like that idea. Goblins are scavengers and they just kind of look for trash and turn it into armor. So I will say I do like it when creatures have the armor that they drop on, you know, like they did before with the Raider outfit. But I also do like the new style where they're just kind of like finding things around the world and using that as armor. They have kept the face paint the same though, which is my feedback about the female goblins as well. Like, you should give them face paint as their makeup, you know. Here's a generic raider goblin. Kept the hair the same, as you can see, giving them an axe, but otherwise they look pretty close to normal goblins. Similarly to the above hollow tooth changes, they're also looking to use a little bit of time to simplify the God Wars Dungeon boss goblins. So Yelps is henchmen, Snotgut, and General Grardor's bodyguards. Let them know if there are goblins you wouldn't want them to change the armor of, just so that they know. They also ask the question for the goblin emotes and animations that currently exist, because there's a handful of animation overrides that include goblins. They've linked those here as well. The goblin mob teleport, where a goblin pops down, and then a couple other ones, and then they bonk you, smack you around, and then send you flying. And then also the crowd surf emote, where some goblins pop down and then they kind of hold you up while they're waving a leaf for you, and you just kind of, this is a rest animation, so you're just kind of sitting there like that. They ask us, do you find yourself using these very often, and would you argue that they are in need of urgent remasters, or can they take some time with those? I guess what they're saying is, would you like those to be included in the big batch of all the goblin changes, or would you mind if they just ignore that for now and fix them later? Probably as like a random game jam project down the line somewhere. I personally like consistency, so I think that it would be nice if those were updated as well. If there's only like 2 animations, then that would be nice. If there was a list of like 20 goblin animations, I could understand them wanting to maybe postpone that a little bit, but I think since there's only 2, they might as well just update those, right? If you'd like to learn more about how they're creating these goblins, then stick around, we're going to be jumping into that next. So the baseline goblin kit will consist of 4 unique heads on a body kit. They say this keeps their body mechanics and rigging sensibly controlled while providing with freedom to have a good variety of personalities via their heads. So the bodies are generally the same, but they've got different heads that they can put on top of the bodies. This includes different hairstyles and different proportions as well for how thick the head is, different wrinkles and eyebrows. Some of them have more distinct out-popping eyebrows, while other ones don't have as much of that. Here's some of the backs of the heads, and I imagine that all of the necks are just lined up the same so that they all attach to the body at the same location. So this is also where they can add some fun customizations like hats, hair, and other accessories. Like I mentioned earlier, they say goblins are natural scavengers, so their base gear is made from all kinds of materials usually acquired from random places like cloth, leather, and lots of random bits of metal. Like a little leather hat, for example, or a top hat they found laying around. This is a cooking pan. It looks like a cooking pot with a ladle to protect their nose. That's actually so creative. Here's the lantern frame, like I said. Here's a bucket helmet. And here's a watering can where they're using the watering can tip bit to protect their nose as well. So by putting these pieces together in different combinations, we're able to create a similar level of variation to the goblins currently found throughout the game, also giving them a fresh arsenal of weapons. Various different axes, because goblins love axes. They've got the banner, that's probably for one of the ones in the God Wars dungeon. Small axe and warhammer, small blade. Here's a staff with a chicken on top of it. Spears as well. The goblin mail will change to be a more breastplate-like design, although the various colors will still be available. Green is the best, they say. Debatable. Purple, I think, is the best. They've also got goblin symbols on the shield. That's a nice touch. They also mention updating skeleton goblins, or scoblins. So they've got the generic goblin pose, and they just look like a skeleton. They're also working on updating the goblin chef. Clearly not entirely done with this one yet, but a lot of detail in it already, which is good. And they haven't made the armor yet for the goblin priests, but they've got the art drawn on top of it to simulate what it would look like once they've got the 3D bits as well added. Looks like there'll be like some gems here around the cloth bits, maybe sapphires and rubies, though they say the gems are awfully cut, and then also metal of assorted tins and junk like rusted coins, sword blades, horseshoes, in parentheses unicorn shoes actually. And here's the skeleton varieties of them, like strong bones, a bit ornate with gems and gold and coins, yeah. Many of the more irregular goblin models are still in the early stages being worked upon, which is why the above ones have not gotten their armor and stuff yet. They're still 3D models with concept art on them. They don't currently have a launch date for this. They're still just working on it. And like they say, they've been working on this for 3 years in the background, just slowly chipping away at it. They say that development has been continuing steady through game jams when ModWow is not focusing on other stuff, and to let them know what you think on Discord or Reddit. They are mainly looking for feedback about the visual direction of the goblins, not specific details of like what they should have on at the moment. So, and they also mentioned, no, this isn't a discussion about whether Zanuck needs another model update, although now that you mention it, there may be one on the horizon. I mean, she got an update in Dragon Wilds, so why not give her a 5th one? I'm gonna say this one would not really fit the new style, but then again, they didn't show cave goblins at all. and she is effectively a cave goblin at the moment, right? So would cave goblins just be the goblin model with bigger eyes is the question. And are they updating cave goblins with this because they also badly need an update, or are they just doing the green ones? I guess that's left to be seen. That's it for the blog though. What does the community think of it? We've got a 92% upvote on it on Reddit. People are saying these do look great. I wasn't sure goblins needed a rework. That's what I was saying. But I actually ended up thinking the modular designs was a really good call. Of course, cave goblins probably need an update more. About the goblin chat head animations, they look really good. Probably perfect. Hear me out. This is the rework. Goblin male is back, baby! I feel like General Bent Nose should have a bent nose to match General Wartface's warty face. Mod WoW came to that same conclusion when we were compiling the images for this one. Okay, so they agree. That's perfect. That's all I needed to know. This person says that they think the God Wars Dungeon Goblins, including Growdor's bodyguards, deserve to have faithful updates to their current designs, and that it doesn't make sense for the armor that is dropped from Hollowtooth to look different from what they're wearing. I think it also would be nice if it did have the armor it was wearing as drops. Love the new models, quite impressive. Everyone does seem to be very happy with it. I do think the cave goblins need an update though. Doing those quests recently was super weird. Here someone wasn't happy with the differences in the female goblins being removed. They say make things like smaller noses and jaws. I kind of agree more with this person of Armadillo saying that might as well be the same, but at least keep their makeup on. Though I do see the appeal here where they're saying that those two specific goblins were trying to go out of their way to be different from all the other goblins. Maybe even make the makeup really messy because, you know, goblins are just like not very steady with their hands. Artists' game jams efforts are always peak. God Wars Dungeon Goblins and Growdor's Surgeons should not be simplified and be faithful to their original designs. Great, just what the game needs, more goblins. Wait, are you a member of HAM? No, just a concerned citizen of Lumbridge. The happy chat heads don't look very happy. They look mad. I thought they looked sad, but yeah, I agree with that. For the animations, should we take our time with these or do them now? Respectfully, please do it all now. The shelf has been overflowing for years. I think it's nice to have them consistently updated alongside the rest of the goblins too. Goblins got a better avatar refresh than the players. Well, I like the new players as well. It's just the female chat head is not looking great. And that's a look at the new goblins. They don't have a date yet for release, but maybe sometime this year would be amazing. I guess it depends how many game jams that Mod WoW gets to work on this. Let me know what you think of the new goblins in the comment section down below. Drop a like on the video and subscribe for more RuneScape videos, and I'll catch you in another one.